Saturday. Welcome to another sophisticated Saturday where together we work through my to-do list and get things done around the house. Today I have a fair amount of just kind of picking up of things to do. I just finished up a load of Owen's laundry and I am going to chat with you and sort through it. I have some things that I think have gotten too small for him, so I'm going to pull those out and put it in his closet in the bin that is too small, that will then transfer to our baby Henry's room. And I did recently kind of just redo all of their clothing and getting their drawers and closets ready for fall, switching out sizes. So some of this was just stuff I wanted to wash one more time before I store it away. Which is just crazy that we're heading into fall, and I have been trying to do a lot more fall themed sophisticated Saturdays and videos. So today I was thinking we would maybe do some healthy fall breakfast recipes if we have a little bit of time, so we can do that. And just like we always do all the random things throughout the house, working through the to-do list. So I am sorting all of the laundry first. It just helps me so much to sort first, which if you've followed me for a while, you know that I do this. And then I can really rapid fire fold all of the shirts together. I can put all of the shorts together. I have a pile that I will hang up. And I don't know, some people say you touch your clothing twice so it actually slows down the process. But I prefer doing it this way. I do it with my clothing, with my kids' clothing, and it's just kind of the way I do it. The only exception is with kids' clothing, I have to double check for stains. And then if something is stained, I toss it in another pile and it goes back to the laundry room, and then I'll stain treat it and try washing it again. Like this, I don't know. Also, I think the lighting is better in here than it is in my laundry room. I think I want to switch out the light bulbs in there just because I can't tell if things are stained as well when I'm in the laundry room. So I think I need to get Jim's help with that and have him assist with updating the light bulb in there so I can tell what is going on with stains. I usually check shirts a lot more than I check pants, just because those end up being what catches the food first. So I am going to keep folding and let's get right into everything. I feel like so many of the things I share on my sophisticated Saturdays can be really mundane tasks like folding laundry, or obviously every day I'm doing dishes. There's just a lot of things that not only I, but everyone has to do on a daily basis or are just kind of boring. So if folding laundry is something that you want me to completely cut out from my videos, I can consider doing that. I had a comment on Instagram saying that it's boring when I fold laundry and to stop filming it, but you know, it's just a part of what I do on Saturdays, so I want to show it. I definitely don't show folding laundry in every sophisticated Saturday, but would love to hear from you if you like seeing it, because sometimes I get comments saying you like to see inside the drawer organizers or how I fold things, the method of it, and I will show you in just a second here what the drawers look like so you can see how they're organized as well. And I don't know, maybe it is interesting to you or maybe it's super boring. I also feel like you can always skip ahead on things. I can start adding chapters to my videos if that's helpful for you so you can see when different things are happening. But in general, I just try to vary things and not show the same thing every single time. Even if I'm doing the same thing every Saturday, I try and mix up what I show. Once I got everything put away in the drawers, then I went back to the laundry room because I wanted to stain treat the clothing that still had stains on it. Well, it was top of mind and I knew where those stains were, so I gave it a little bit of a spray and then put it into the bin where I keep all of the clothing that needs a little bit more attention.
Okay, so I know that I said we were gonna do some healthy breakfast recipes, and we are. I think I'm actually gonna do 3 recipes, and the recipes we're gonna make are gonna vary in how healthy they are, or you could kind of adjust them a little bit. So the first one I'm doing right now is I'm peeling these sweet potatoes that I just started roasting this morning. I'm gonna blend them up and make a sweet potato puree. I literally just poked them with a fork, added just a little bit of olive oil and roasted them until they were nice and soft. And we're gonna make sweet potato pancakes. I was gonna just make these for our baby because I like to do a lot of meal prep, kind of baby-led weaning style, and pancakes are great for young babies, especially that don't have like that pincer grasp. So you can cut it in little strips. That makes it easier for them to eat. But I found that you can make a recipe that everyone can enjoy. So we're gonna try and do that. So I might either split it out and make one batch that doesn't have any salt and sugar, or honestly, I might just skip the sugar for everyone because we end up putting maple syrup on top of it anyway. And I just made some waffles without any sugar in it, and I actually thought they were great and didn't need sugar. So maybe the pancakes will be the same, we'll see. So I'm probably just gonna blend up this puree and then we'll turn it into pancakes.
These pancakes actually turned out quite delicious. They were really simple to make. I always think pancakes are pretty simple to make. The hardest part of this is just having some sweet potatoes, and if you're gonna make it yourself, that obviously adds a step, but you could probably use like a canned sweet potato as well. I've also been making a point to clean as I go when I am cooking, or as much as I can, trying to put away the ingredients. And it's funny because I did end up making 3 recipes today, and I kept putting the vanilla extract away and the salt away and had to pull it out multiple times. So I probably should have just left it out till I was done cooking for the day. Now that the batter's all done, I'm going to use a cookie scoop and my new griddle that I got. I am loving it. I just love how I can make more pancakes at once. I mostly use this for pancakes, but other things as well. It's just really, really easy. It goes on 2 different burners and it cooks the pancakes beautifully. Took a break in the cooking action to head back upstairs and finally make my bed for the day and clean up the bedroom. You'll see in just a second the dresser. I had some clothing that I needed to put away myself, but of course I have to make the bed every single day. Even if I don't get to do it first thing in the morning, it's a lot easier to get the bed made first thing in the morning when you don't have kids. But when there are kids and we're trying to just get out the door or do whatever we're doing, sometimes the bed does not get made till a little bit later, and today was one of those days.
Okay, I'm making baked applesauce donuts, and this is what I was talking about when I said that not all the recipes were super healthy. I mean, they're baked, so that's healthier than a fried donut, but again, it's still a donut. I added in my butter already and some brown sugar, granulated sugar, mixed that up, and now I am adding in egg and a little bit of vanilla extract. Gonna blend that in, and then I also have my applesauce measured out, so I'm gonna pour that in as well. I just had some applesauce, so I thought it would be kind of a fun recipe to do. You could eat it as more of like a dessert as opposed to a breakfast if you want to, but I am thinking this will make a nice little treat if we want one. I'm gonna grab a spatula to get that out. Okay, got that last a little bit. And then I am doubling this recipe. It makes 6 donuts, but I am gonna make 12. So I just have to make sure I'm looking at the recipe and double everything. I have never made these ones before. I have tried, I think, baked apple cider donuts before from, I wanna say it was the recipe from the New York Times, if you just Google it. And I wasn't overly impressed. They weren't very apple cidery. So we'll see how this applesauce donut is, if it's a little bit better. It does call for some apple pie spice, and I didn't have any, so I Googled a quick recipe. I don't know if that's gonna work out. I don't know what applesauce spice usually is, but I got that, my salt, my baking powder, and then I just need to add in 2 cups of flour. And it says to slowly incorporate, so I'm gonna do 1 cup, mix it up, and then I will add in the other cup. And then we put it in a piping bag, it says, and put it into the donut mold. Cool, okay, so let's get going with the rest of the donuts.
I've actually used these donut tins so many times. I bought them not thinking I was going to use them a ton, but they have gotten a lot of use over the years. I think it was just a 2-pack from Amazon, but it's so much easier to make baked donuts. It's just not as messy, and it's obviously a lot healthier that way too. Okay, well, those cook in the oven. I am going to clean up my office. You'll see what a mess it was here. I had some nail polish out because I had painted my nails. I still want to repaint them. I need to paint my toes. I haven't had time to do that, but I'm going to. And I had my baby book out. I had some stuff for work that was sitting out. You can clearly just see it was a mess. I also spilled a little bit in my office. I was drinking a matcha and spilled basically the entire thing and got some of it on the baby book. So I was flipping through to see how bad the spill was on there, how much green matcha is in poor baby Henry's baby book. And the surface of my desk also just felt a little bit sticky still, so I grabbed some of my multi-surface spray and I am going to clean off the desk one more time. And then with the desk clean, I am going to sit down and do a little bit of work. I have some emails to go through, some editing, and other things I need to do on my computer. The The donuts were finally done. I took them out of their tins and just brushed them with some butter or dipped them with butter, and then put them into a mixture of regular sugar and some of that apple pie spice. Again, you can do homemade apple pie spice, or you can get some store-bought apple pie spice and just dip and dip, and they turned out so good.
It is craziness over here with all of the different apple recipes and fall recipes we have going on. So I just pulled up the last one, and this one I think is the healthiest, depending on how you do it. So I am throwing oats everywhere, but I am making a caramel apple inspired overnight oats. And I am going to add in my oats. Looks like I need milk and a cutting board, so hold on. I do not have enough space on my countertop, but I added in 2 cups of oats, 2 cups of almond milk it says, but I do not have that. I have whole milk, or actually this is 2%. I have 2% milk, so I'm gonna add that in. I love overnight oats because they're so easy. You can just toss all of your ingredients in. It doesn't really matter the order in which you're doing it. And I have some Granny Smith apples for another recipe that I was doing this week. And I had to buy a bag of them. I couldn't buy them individually. So this works out really well because the recipe does call for Granny Smith apples. And I'm going to save myself a little bit of cutting and use the little veggie chopper here. So I started off by really measuring, and I've kind of given up here because, again, overnight oats are so forgiving. You probably saw I just added in some applesauce, a little bit of honey, some vanilla extract. It's all pretty healthy so far. You are going to top it with some of the apples, so I didn't add all of them in. And I just have this on my phone. You can also top it with, they say, roasted peanuts, honey roasted peanuts, or glazed walnuts. And the last ingredient that I did not add is the caramel sauce. I have caramel sauce from another Sophisticated Saturday video where I made caramel apple whoopie pies, and it does say to add in a tablespoon of caramel sauce for the whole thing. I don't know, I was worried that that's not healthy at all to do, but I think I'm just gonna add in a little bit. I was gonna look up like a alternative to, here you'll see how much I'm doing. Do like that much. And I got it all over my hands. I was gonna look up an alternative to caramel sauce, like if you could somehow blend up dates or maybe chop up dates. They have kind of a caramely taste, so that might be a good idea as well. But after this, all it says is you can put it in the fridge in a container like this, or you can divide it up and put it in the fridge. It says it should be about 4 8-ounce jars. You can cover and refrigerate it for at least 8 hours and up to 4 days. And then you can put the toppings on it. I also have some apple butter that I used in those whoopie pies. That might be good to put a little dollop of apple butter on top of it, but this looks delicious, and I am going to clean up my mess and get the little containers to put these in and let them sit overnight and have a mostly healthy snack or breakfast. So I have to share the final product of the pancakes. I have so many, and I actually tried some. So this container plus all of these pancakes are ones that I added in a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, much less than the recipe called for, because I made all of these with 0 sugar, 0 salt, and they tasted actually pretty good to me. So these ones are gonna be reserved for the baby, for Henry, and the other ones I am going to package up for the rest of the family. So I'm gonna take a couple of these out and cut them into like adult finger-sized pieces so Henry can hold them, send some of it to school with him, and then for us, I'm gonna keep a few in the fridge and then also put some in the freezer for maybe like a weekend or something where we want to have some pancakes and I don't feel like making pancakes.
Last thing on the to-do list today is to pick up the living room. I know the kids make a mess out of this all of the time, but we had still pajamas on the floor here, things that weren't even toys that needed to be picked up. So I am really gonna do a quick pickup, and really it does not take that long, and call that a day in terms of my to-do list. And that is pretty much it for today's Sophisticated Saturday. I hope you enjoyed. Give the video a thumbs up if you did, and until next time, I will see you all later.